Tom Aspinall is a freak of nature. He's gigantic for the weight division. He's agile, he's quick, he's fast, he's explosive, he's well-rounded.
I think so, because we both move unlike regular heavyweights. We both have good footwork, judge the distance well.
My feeling, I remember, because I got an experience now, less pressure.
In about 10 days from now, that'll be Ciryl Gane, who presents an interesting matchup that may have Tom Aspinall.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Tom Aspinall brings explosive power and relentless pressure, while Ciryl Gane counters with elite movement and surgical precision. This isn't just another heavyweight clash, it's a pivotal moment that could redefine the future of the division. To begin with, Alexander Volkanovski gives a sharp technical assessment of Ciryl Gane's striking style, highlighting his patience, calculated timing, and strategic control inside the cage. Rather than relying on reckless power, Gane uses precision, subtle movements, and rhythm manipulation to dictate the pace. His approach showcases elite fight IQ, making him a difficult puzzle for any opponent.
Gives us something to look at while we're watching the tape. Gane, very safe striker. When I say safe, he doesn't overcommit. He doesn't fully commit with big shots all the time. He picks his shots very well. He waits for the right timing, the right time to fire. Sometimes I feel like he can be more aggressive because he is that good of a striker, but he tends to, even his kicks, a lot of them are just touching, just setting up, directing people where he wants them, cutting them off, sort of just breaking the rhythm to set up other things afterwards, or, just constantly playing them little games. Even though he can be such a superior striker than some of these guys, he still does it.
On the other hand, Volkanovski points out what makes Tom Aspinall such a dangerous matchup: explosive athleticism mixed with smart, unpredictable movement. Instead of charging recklessly, he shifts tempo, disrupts timing, and strikes with precision. His ability to blend speed with well-timed entries, combined with strong grappling skills, creates serious problems for opponents who rely on playing it safe.
Tom Aspinall's that good, he's that explosive, and he's clever enough. He doesn't just straight away blitz in. He does try and, give you a good, and then sort of catch you, break the rhythm of when he goes in that sort of footwork. And, he does a sort of bounce around and then just goes. So you can sort of break that rhythm. Gane is good enough to maybe try and get a read on that. But is he too safe to just try and counter?
However, Wade Plemons shares a more cautious perspective on Tom Aspinall's rise, noting that while his performances have been dominant, many ended too quickly to fully test his skill set. He emphasizes the importance of seeing Aspinall in deeper waters, facing real adversity, and believes the upcoming clash with Ciryl Gane could finally reveal just how good he truly is.
I'm still not necessarily convinced that Tom Aspinall will be the greatest heavyweight we've ever seen, or that he's as good as people are telling me he is, because I want to see more of what he brings in a fight that doesn't just go one round. And I'm not saying that's his fault. You fight the people that are in front of you. And in about 10 days from now, that'll be Ciryl Gane, who presents an interesting matchup.
At the same time, Wade acknowledges the overwhelming hype surrounding Tom Aspinall, pointing out how dominant he's been against everyone he's faced. Outside of a brief setback due to injury, Aspinall has looked nearly untouchable. Wade notes that while the hype is understandable, the level of competition he has faced so far hasn't truly pushed him, making the Gane matchup especially intriguing.
Everyone is, I don't want to, it is glazing to a degree, but everyone is on the Tom Aspinall hype train. And I understand why, because Tom Aspinall, since he's gotten to the UFC, has pretty much made light work of every fighter he's ever stood in front of, outside of the weird kind of knee injury TKO loss to Curtis Blades, which he then came back and beat Curtis Blades very dominantly in their second fight. So it's hard. It's hard to look at Tom Aspinall's strength of schedule here, if we're using college football terms, and believe there's anybody on there.
Even so, Wade Plemons points out that Tom Aspinall's record hasn't truly tested him against elite competition. Aside from a few notable names, the division lacks depth, making it hard to gauge just how far Tom's skills can be pushed. Wade believes Ciryl Gane is on the same level as the opponents Aspinall has already dominated, which is why he's leaning toward Tom to win again.
Sergey would have been. Pavlovich was a big puncher and potentially could have given Tom some problems, but stood right in the pocket with him and got dropped. I just don't see any. The heavyweight division is rough right now. It is awful. And outside of 2 or 3 big names that you could mention right now in that division a Sergey Pavlovich, a Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, a Ciryl Gane, a Tom Aspinall. There really isn't anyone that's there that either gets people excited or presents an opportunity for Tom Aspinall to potentially have a tough matchup. Now, with all that being said, this strength of schedule doesn't really tell me a lot about Tom Aspinall and what his capabilities are when he goes to that next level. Do I think Ciryl Gane is that next level? No, I don't. I think the Ciryl Gane is this level, the level of guys that he's already beaten, which is why I am picking Tom Aspinall to win this fight.
Looking ahead, Tom Aspinall reflects on the significance of his upcoming fight, acknowledging that it represents a new era for heavyweight MMA. He highlights the shared qualities between him and Ciryl Gane: elite movement, sharp distance control, and technical precision, traits rarely seen in their division. According to Tom, this matchup isn't just about power, it's about skill, speed, and high-level strategy.
This fight has always been looked at like the next gen of heavyweight, but now you've been preparing for it and you've been studying Ciryl perhaps more than you ever have before. Do you still agree with that assessment?
I think so, because we both move unlike regular heavyweights. We both have good footwork, judge the distance well. We don't go in just swinging without any thought, you know what I mean? We're both tactical, technical, good movers, big athletic guys. I think it makes for a good matchup.
In response, Ciryl Gane discusses his mindset and approach heading into the fight, acknowledging that both he and Tom Aspinall bring dangerous finishing abilities. He explains that he can either control the pace with calculated distance management or push the action early if needed. Confident in his conditioning and strategy, Gane hints at testing Tom in deeper rounds, a scenario many fans are eager to see.
What is the game plan going against a fighter like this when you know it's not going to go for decision, most likely?
Everybody know my strength, everybody know his strength also. I can do very well to manage my distance and go to the second round. But even there are different way. If I want, I can go also really fast at the very first round and maybe to go on the deep water with Tom Aspinall, you see.
So you're ready to take him to deep water for the first time in his career?
Yeah, probably.
Not backing down, Tom Aspinall responds with confidence to claims about being pushed into deep waters. When told Ciryl Gane believes his distance control could test him like no one else, Tom fires back with a bold reminder. Everyone who's made that prediction before hasn't lasted long. His calm yet sharp reply shows just how assured he is in his power and timing.
He was just in here saying that he can manage his distance better than anyone that you fought before, and therefore he will be the one to be able to take you into these deep waters we so often speak about. There's this idea that's being spoken about that you have to finish this fight in 2 minutes to sort of like look as impressive as John and stuff like that. I'm sure you've heard that narrative, but what is your take on it?
Did he actually use the word deep waters?
He did.
Everybody who said the word deep waters gets knocked out in the first minute. Go back and check the media that you've done. So, I'm pretty happy with that. That's good.
Furthermore, Ciryl opens up about how the pressure surrounding this fight compares to his previous high-profile bouts. He explains that his first major clash came with intense media attention and overwhelming expectations. But over time, experience has changed how he handles those moments. Now, ahead of facing Tom Aspinall, he feels noticeably more composed and less burdened by outside noise.
I remember my first big fight, I'm going to say big fight against Francis Ngannou. I remember because also the storytelling and the fight week was huge also, like many media to do, many stuff to do. More pressure for Ngannou, a little bit less for Jones, and less for Tom Aspinall.
Adding to the predictions, MVP gives high praise to Tom Aspinall, calling him part of the next generation of heavyweight fighters. He draws comparisons to the dominant rise of Jon Jones, pointing out Tom's unique blend of speed, power, and skill that sets him apart in the division. While respecting Ciryl Gane's style, MVP believes Tom's explosiveness and ground game give him the clear edge. He said, I'm, a fan of Ciryl Gane as well. I just feel like Tom Aspinall is the next generation of the same thing we saw the likes of Jon Jones doing in terms of the dominant fashion that he took over his division. I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Tom Aspinall. That style at heavyweight is unseen. In addition, MVP highlights the key difference between the two heavyweights. While Ciryl Gane is smooth and agile, he believes Tom Aspinall's power and overall skill set are on another level. He suggests Tom's explosiveness could lead to a knockout, even if the ground game doesn't come into play. MVP further said, Ciryl Gane has a little bit of a bounce in him as well. I just don't think he's got the same snap and power that Tom Aspinall has, as well as the ground game. Although you probably won't see it in his fight, I feel like he could get a knockout in this. Finally, Michael Bisping breaks down why this matchup is so compelling, describing Tom Aspinall as a rare athletic powerhouse. Explosive, agile, and incredibly well-rounded for a heavyweight. But he also points out that Ciryl Gane can match those physical gifts, bringing elite movement, fluid striking, and technical kickboxing to the table. It's not just power versus speed, it's two exceptional athletes colliding in a high-level MMA chess match.
Tom Aspinall is a freak of nature. He's gigantic for the weight division. He's agile, he's quick, he's fast, he's explosive, he's well-rounded, all that stuff. You've heard me talk about him and glaze him many, many times. Oil him up, whatever you kids say these days, right?
When's this oil thing going to go away?
But he's going up against Ciryl Gane, and this is where it gets interesting because Ciryl Gane can match him for all those athletic attributes. He is just as fast. He's probably lighter on the feet. He's probably a better kickboxer, probably a little more graceful, probably a little bit more fluent on the feet. Of course, this isn't a kickboxing fight though. It is a mixed martial arts contest.
The heavyweight storm is brewing, 2 elite technicians, 1 cage, and 0 room for error. We've seen the movement, the IQ, the power, but on fight night, only one will prove he's the future of the division. Tom Aspinall stands as the embodiment of speed and power, a new breed of heavyweight. A fighter who doesn't just swing, but calculates every strike with ruthless precision. Across from him, Ciryl Gane, the smooth operator, the tactician who turns chaos into controlled rhythm. It's not just a fight, it's a statement. So what do you think? Will Aspinall's explosiveness overwhelm the French technician, or will Gane's icy composure and distance control expose the cracks no one's seen yet? Can the new era truly be ushered in, or will the seasoned strategist shut the door, who walks out of this war with their hand raised? Will it be the unstoppable force or the unshakable wall? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you love these deep fight breakdowns and story-driven build-ups, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Fight Night breakdown.